Hello again, and welcome to the 8th video in the Connect Me series Resource Pack 3, Celebrate Your Street Together. I'm Alistair Ganley, and I'm here with Jojo Spinks from Interwoven Productions CIC. And today we're talking about the legal bits, why they're important. So it sounds a bit dry, but actually it's an really important part of any project that you undertake. Why? So particularly thinking about data protection, everyone's heard of GDPR and all these sorts of things, and it feels quite daunting. So could you explain why data protection is important and what it means?
Yeah. So the detail is there in your written unit. But I wanted to, again, in the videos to sort of dig down into the underpinning concepts. And yeah, with data protection is just one of the legal things that you just need to rattle through so that you know you can move forward in confidence. And I think the underpinning concept is trust. It's about trust. And if you come at it from the point of view that everyone's personal data belongs to them, bottom line. And personal data means anything that identifies you. So that's your name, address, any of your characteristics, anything that can identify you as an individual. And it belongs to you. So if you share that with me as a neighbour, so that I can contact you and I can facilitate and I can coordinate something, then you've trusted me. You've trusted me with an extension of your data that belongs to you. And if I want to be a good neighbour to you, and if I want to celebrate this street in a way that will bring people together, and so that it will happen again, and we'll all end up living in a better, more connected society, which is what we're thinking about, and just we can have fun without worrying about this stuff, then you just treat it with trust. And that means that you don't share it with other people, that you guard it carefully, that you don't keep it any longer than you need to, and you follow those the other details that are in the pack. But the single underpinning concept is everyone's personal data belongs to them. If they've shared it with you, you treat it with trust.
Okay, thank you. That's really clear and makes it seem much less daunting than it can do in often the more official documents. The other word that we hear a lot about these days is safeguarding. Whether you're doing a running club, running group, or children's theatre classes, or anything in any context, major or minor, this word keeps coming up. So in this context, what does safeguarding mean?
Yeah, so safeguarding is specific. So again, it's helpful to know that it applies to children, youngsters under 18, and it applies to vulnerable adults. And in your course pack, there is an explicit list of all of the ways in which an adult might be described as vulnerable. It's very simple, really. If you know that in creating this project, Celebrate Your Street with Your Neighbours, it's going to bring you into contact with those groups, bring you alone into the company of those people. So not when they're with their parents and the rest of their family, but if you're going to be in extended contact with, say, all of the 10-year-olds on your street, for some reason you've decided that, then that is a safeguarding trigger. So that's a point at which our recommendation is you would work through another organisation, someone else who has put their safeguarding in place. So I think the simplest thing for you to think is, oh, that's a trigger. I'm finding myself an extended time with this vulnerable group. That's a trigger. There's another organisation I can partner up with to get this done. The chances are you won't. The chances are that if there's a vulnerable adult or children, their parents will want to stay with them for, through the length of your project, and that's the way that it will go. So it's just being mindful. What's the trigger point? What's the point at which I ask for a bit more help with this?
So in terms of the partner organization, it might be an organization like the Cubs or the Scouts or Brownies Guides or a school or a Sunday school group where there are people who have that responsibility and you might then be interweaving with other aspects of your community and drawing them into the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
It's a cohesive exercise.
Yeah.
And again, with vulnerable adults, it's ensuring that they're looked after.
Yeah.
So that there's somebody there who could speak for them or who can ensure that everything is as it should be.
Yeah. So I mean, chances are it's not going to happen. You're going to be working with their carers, and those are the people that you're going to be liaising with. But you might find yourself unplanned, where someone asks you to stay and be with someone who might be more vulnerable, and that's a situation to avoid. I think just keep it simple for yourself. Just say, oh, hang on, no, I don't think so. You know, is there someone else who can manage this? You don't have to take on the woes of the world to do this. Just know what the points are to ask for a little bit more help, or maybe to step back.
Yeah, that's really helpful. So the next key legal thing is a risk assessment. Again, whatever you do these days, a risk assessment comes hand in hand with it. Under the COVID regulations, there are all manner of things that you have to tick box to be able to demonstrate that you're following the rules and all of that. But sometimes a risk assessment goes beyond kind of just rules. It's kind of preempting things.
Yeah.
So yeah, why is that important, and when do you need to do one?
Well, do you know, I love risk assessments. I'm very odd. I think I must be very odd. But what they do is they allow you to feel you've got it covered. You have got it covered. And basically when you do it is whenever you coordinate a meeting. So when you have that first meeting, you've booked your local community room and you've risk assessed it. And the concept's not that tricky. It's really, really simple, a risk assessment. Basically, you put an assessment on how likely something is to happen and how serious it will be if it did. So say you score 5 maximum, as in is really likely, but 5 in it's going to be really serious, then you don't do that. You say no. Well, more likely you'll find that something's not very likely to happen and it's a little bit risky. And then if it's somewhere in the middle, you'll probably take a measure to manage it. So it might be something like, if you're out of doors, have you thought about cars coming in and out of driveways? And is there anything that you can do about that just for the duration of your event? It might be putting bollards, it might be stationing stewards, it might just be putting a row of flags up. What can you do to bring that risk back down to an acceptable level? So it's not about predicting absolutely everything, but it just gives you that, oh, do you know, I've had a look at that. I've had a look at it, and I'm pretty sure that if I put that there, have a steward there, bollard there, and I tape down that wire, I've done absolutely everything I can to make sure that this meeting goes really smoothly and everyone's fine. Yeah. And just to have I must be really sort of tick boxy and sort of paper, a bit of a paper monkey, but I love it. Just to have a bit of a nice simple chart that I can go, yes, 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 yes. I've done everything I can to keep everyone happy, safe and secure.
So I know that you can find kind of templates online for these things really easily.
Got it in it's in your unit, so.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.